for Calgary Falconridge is rising with a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sadly, there has been a rash of violence within the Indo-Canadian community in Calgary Northeast. In April and May, there were four murders of Indo-Canadians, which police suggest could be connected and linked to the organized crime. We also know that sometimes new Canadians have a tougher time assessing a police service. Can the Minister of Justice inform this House what steps are being taken to combat this rise in organized crime in Calgary Northeast?
Well, Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the honourable member for their advocacy on this issue, Mr. Speaker. It's been thoughtful and timely. I'm looking forward to meeting later this week with some key community groups regarding this matter to make sure we can start hearing their concerns and addressing this, Mr. Speaker. We're also going to be making sure that we continue to provide our law enforcement officials with the resources they need, including additional funding for ALERT to disrupt gang activity, Mr. Speaker. We're going to make sure that our law enforcement officials have the resources they need to do their jobs.
For Calgary Falconridge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the Minister. Given that the Liberal government of Justin Trudeau has gutted much of the tough on crime legislation introduced under the previous Conservative government, and given that the violence we are seeing on Calgary Street is looking like all real violence in lower mainland of British Columbia, what steps will our government take to combat that rise in crime in our community?
Minister of Justice is rising.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our platform, Mr. Speaker, outlined a detailed plan for us to combat crime here in this province, including funding for ALERT, and part of that funding in ALERT is going to go towards combating gang activity, Mr. Speaker. We're also going to be making sure that we provide funding to drug treatment courts to deal with addictions, Mr. Speaker, and many of the root causes of crimes here in our province, Mr. Speaker. I also want to flag as well that the ALERT team had a big drug bust this last week, Mr. Speaker, in Grand Prairie. There were 7 arrests. They seized cocaine, fentanyl, drugs, and body armor.
The member for Calgary Falconridge.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given children are worried about their safety in school, hundreds of people rallied in Northeast Calgary just under the other weekend to protest the dangers of drugs making their way onto streets and schools. And given that our United Conservative platform promised to address issues related to organized crime and illegal drugs, can the Minister tell this House what our government is doing to make the streets safer?
Justice.
Mr. Speaker, unlike previous governments, we're going to be making sure our law enforcement officials have the resources that they need to get the job done, Mr. Speaker. We're going to be making sure that we hire 50 new prosecutors across Alberta to make sure that we can deal with the backlogs that often happen in our courts, Mr. Speaker. We're going to be making sure that ALERT has the funding it needs to deal with these gangs. I do look forward this week, again, to meet with the community organizations and start talking to them about a path forward, Mr. Speaker.